Fake Safety Podcast with Vance and Bart.
It's a trap, and there's no comfort fitting in a fake safety that no one believes in.
So is blue light really a problem?
It is, yeah. We have a whole, 2 or 3 generations worth of people with, macular degeneration that previous generations didn't have.
Oh, cool. It's kind of like my generation with butt cancer.
Exactly. You guys are just putting all those computer monitors up your butt.
Oh, well. It happens.
So, what did Kanye say? Something about the Jews? I turn around for a second, I stop paying attention, and I come back and he's off of everything now?
Yeah, apparently he can't be at the MTV Music Awards or something now. Is he off? He's not off Twitter, right? Nobody gets kicked off Twitter anymore, right?
Wasn't he off Twitter already?
Yeah, but I think he's back, right? I mean,
Has Elon already reinstated him?
he got Trump already. I imagine he got him
Wait,
already.
you're telling me Trump is back on Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
This tells you how far out of the news cycle I am.
Well, I only know because Trump tweeted me. It told me he was back, bitches.
Is this actually a good Twitter plug opportunity?
At the Real Fake Safety?
We never do
I
that
mean,
thing
no
where
shit.
we talk about liking and subscribing and rating
Yeah.
our podcast on iTunes.
You should hate and unsubscribe to all of our shit.
Give us 1 star. Actually, it's not iTunes anymore. It's Apple Music, right? So it's
Yeah.
not. Can you do 0 stars or does it have to be 1?
I think you can do a half, right? Can you do a half? You can't do a half. I don't know.
Give us somewhere between 0 and 1 stars
Yeah.
on Apple Music.
I say everybody unsubscribe now.
And block us on Twitter at Real Fake Safety.
Kind of, because if you unsubscribe, you have to subscribe first. So we'll get a boost there for a second.
That's what the algorithm wants to happen.
Yeah.
If you could all just go ahead and block us at Real Fake Safety, and my personal, you can block me at the Bart Fake.
Please do this. You don't want to hear what we have to say. That's probably why you're listening. So yeah, so Donald Trump's back. Things like that have happened. Am I happy to have the Donald Trump's tweeting again? Yes. Do I really care what he has to say? Not really. I mean, except for when it bothers certain people. That kind of makes me happy. But
You're
I think
delighting in the displeasure of others.
I do. So I think that gets us to what we really want to talk about, and that is stop. Hammer time. Have you heard that either somebody fucking breaking in or just hanging out with Mr. Pelosi decided to argue with him, wait till the cops got there, then pull the hammer out of his hand and smack him in the head with it, causing minor injuries enough that he needed stitches and whatnot? Have you heard about that?
I have heard about that because a lot of the folks that I talk to are either following along in some way or are physically close to it in SF.
Ooh. Oh, the same place. They're not physically. Yeah.
Not physically close to him, just physically close to the situation in that geographically they're in the same city as all this took place.
I didn't know that there was a rumor he was gay. Honestly, if you live there, who the fuck cares there, right? Why would... And everybody's like, oh, it's a local rumor. I'm like, well, fucking there, everybody... There's a lot... it's a little weirder not to be. I've been there.
Yeah, and maybe you can give me the outside of the bubble version, but the SF narrative. So for those of you who are just so lost right now, here's my take of what I've heard, having not read any news really about it,
Okay.
is that apparently a guy attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer, and he was shouting, "Where's Nancy?" But I suppose she was not there. So the husband was attacked with a hammer, and then they got this guy, and it turns out he was posting a bunch of things online that were like right-wing propaganda or something. That's what I've got.
There was a hammer. We know that it's true. Most of the other stuff probably isn't.
Okay, school me.
All right. So, guy being person that this is being blamed on, probably involved. Maybe not. Could just be a fall person. He's a drug addict. Had a lot of problems with substance abuse, some run-ins with the law. Mostly his significant other had serious run-ins with the law. Is currently in prison for statutory rape. He's been living in like a little. It's not a commune, but it's like just a squat house, right? Area lately. But yes, he's a far left actually person. So he's big into Black Lives Matter, the Black Israelite type things, the blaming the Jews for problems. Very, but apparently the extreme. He's become more extreme the further he's gotten into drugs, from everything that I've read about his past. So it's probably mostly drug induced, right? Secondly, he started, posting anti-Jew stuff. So that's the right wing stuff. They just attribute anti-Jew things to right wing, even though that's not necessarily the case.
Like Kanye.
Let's say, yeah, Kanye. My personal thoughts are, I kind of think that Kanye's playing a character, and this is kind of a joke to him. I think that he's gotten to that point with money that I think he's a little crazy to do this, but like, I kind of think he's joking, but maybe I'm wrong. But that's really a side thing. It's just something I think's going on. I just don't feel that it's genuine. Anyway,
But either way, he, like all right wingers, are talking out against the Jews.
let's just say he's a right winger. Um, so this really extremely left known activist in the left has said something negative about Jews, and automatically he's right wing now. Anyway, he's being charged with smacking the Pelosi dude upside the head with a hammer. So if you go back to, let's say, what was said, what wasn't said, you can listen to the 911 tape that is available. Not the 911 tape of the caller, but the response, the 911 operator talking to the responding officer as she's being fed information from the house. So she says, the person in the house, they've gotten into an argument. He doesn't know why he's there, or he doesn't want him to be there. A little unclear on that little part due to static and whatnot. He's a friend. His name is David, right? So later, in the mainstream news that you're probably hearing from, or the people that are talking to you are hearing from, is the perp apparently grabbed the phone and said, "I'm a friend. My name is David." At that point, but that is definitely not what's portrayed by the lady, right? Anyway, so we're hearing from the police officers different things like, oh, they're in their underwear, but none of that really matters. Like, to be honest, whether if they're fucking or not fucking, it just doesn't add any depth to the story, because the real part of this story is that the mainstream news is lying so badly that nobody fucking believes them, and the mainstream news is having to try their best to figure out a way to spin it to make it believable, and they're not doing it the same because there's no collaboration on this one. And it just is so pathetic if we know it's all a lie. But some reports are in their underwear. The police break in or are let in by a third person. The police say they were let in by a third person. The news says they broke in.
The news says that the police broke in?
Right. The police are now saying that they were let in by a third person.
Who's not part of the altercation, but was there to open the door?
Was there to open the door. The glass is broke that supposedly the cops broke to get in to the outside. And then some people saying it's what the guy broke to get in. But it's broke to the outside. So the glass is outside the door, but not inside the door. So it was telepathically broken. You know.
For fear of getting too deep into the weeds on this, are you saying that there was none inside and it was all outside, or there's some outside?
Well, the photo looks like none inside. There could be a little bit inside that the photo didn't really pick up, but it's not that big of a window, and there's a lot of glass on the outside.
Because I'm not a glass like ballistics or whatever expert, so
me neither.
I might just leave that one be. But
I'm just what I'm saying is it doesn't look right, but an explanation could be, say I did use a hammer, boom, I break it, but I only break like the and I want to mention this because it makes sense. Like, then you could just like turn the hammer and then pull the glass out this way, right? And then it all comes back this way.
Right.
But that really only makes sense with like tempered glass. That little window wasn't tempered glass.
But kind of to your point about their sexual relationship, that probably doesn't have too much bearing on this, right? Like, the bigger issue is that
if they're having sex or not having sex, it does not matter at all. It really doesn't, even a little bit, to me at least.
So it sounds like you've been following all versions of the news, left, right, up, down, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they're having, I don't know if I'd call it a field day, but it seems like they're having a tough time. What's
great is the cops who have given statements when the people who are involved are there or got phone call who have given statements have all had to retract to try to get the narrative to kind of fit into what they've retracted this or they've retracted that or they've changed. Oh, we need to re-clarify this. And it's so after the fact, and it's so pathetically done. It is the biggest cover-up fuck-up. Most pathetic cover-up fuck-up I've seen I mean, hell, since Epstein killed himself.
Which
It's that
definitely
believable.
happened.
It's fucking that believable. All the cameras in the prison happen to malfunction at this one time. Are we going to get body cam? Are we going to get uh, the non-existent security system that apparently doesn't exist because you can just break in and hang out for hours, no security alarms go off at a Pelosi house?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
I didn't even think about that. This is probably like a pretty well secured house, right? I didn't even think about the fact that. So this wasn't just like a person who ran in, attacked, and was like out. Like this person was in the house for
he
a
never
while.
even hit him until the cops were already there.
What?
Yeah,
Ah, so it was just an escalation.
yeah, like a domestic dispute. You called the cops on me, motherfucker?
So this was just an argument, and then the cop showed up, and then it became violent?
Yeah.
I've never seen that
Some
happen before.
some reports in their underwear. I like
Yeah,
to think about it in my head in their underwear, whether they were or not. It doesn't matter to me.
I like thinking about all the cops in their underwear too.
But yeah, that's even better.
But they still have
Or
the hats.
the two perps are just completely clothed, like one piece, completely blue suits, like those unitard things. Yeah, and then the cops, nothing but their underwear and hats and their batons. It's like a very gay thing going on. Turns out Pelosi's very straight, but the cops who came, totally homos.
Or they come as like, what's the cartoon? Paw Patrol?
Yeah.
Basically just a bunch of furry cops converge on her house.
Water cannon. Foam party.
So, playing devil's advocate a bit here,
Okay.
I would guess her house, whether she's there or not, because it sounds like she wasn't there. And this guy was looking for her and didn't find her. I don't know. But
There's a lot of theories out there. Okay. Some way unbelievable. I'm going to go ahead and put one out I haven't heard yet. All right. This guy's a drug addict who said some anti-Jew stuff. Right? And maybe Pelosi's been fucking him a little bit. Right? Or maybe not. Also, reports that Mr. Pelosi sounded very disoriented.
yeah, Joe Biden sounds disoriented.
Yeah, no shit. And he's probably doing the same shit, though. I mean, hammers, all 9 yards. I mean, bring your hammers. Next party.
And I also will say that's just not fair because I don't care what anybody does in their own house.
Yeah, but you can still make fun of people. I mean, that's kind of what life's all about, right?
No, I think this needs to be very serious.
So, check this out. Most true crime, right? The wife's not there. The motherfucker gets killed. The wife hired the dude to do it. But I don't think Pelosi's that kind of lady. Pelosi needs a win. She's a politician way before she's a wife. If my husband gets beat up by some gay lover and killed, and I was sympathetic to his gay things, I can definitely get reelected, right? So she just smacks him in the head with a fucking hammer and blames this drug addict on it. And then tells the cops, hey, I wasn't here. Cops are like, okay, we'll make up a story. But they don't really get together on it. That's why this isn't a CIA thing. This is the cops trying to put together a story. They're not really talking to each other too well. And that's why they fucked the story all up.
Okay, let me get this straight. So your theory is she's concocting this story and using the
She tried to kill him, but she didn't. She didn't hit him hard enough because she's a woman.
Whoa. I was wondering what our line was that would get us canceled.
I just thought I could go ahead and throw that out there since we're going to talk about it. No, she's an 80-year-old woman.
Your point being that all of this that we're hearing is based off of police testimony and these eyewitness accounts. So we actually don't have any evidence of what happened at all. And your guess is that it's
a very non-serious conspiracy that I'd like to throw out there because it makes more fucking sense than what they're telling us to believe happened. And I don't think that that's what happened. That's my point, is I can make this up, this Pelosi thing, right? And it makes more fucking sense than what the news is telling us to believe.
I mean, you've dug way more into this than I have, so I'm probably missing a few pieces, but I feel like I have an even simpler explanation.
You might.
A person who is mentally ill decided to attack someone who happens to be noteworthy. And because that person who is noteworthy is fairly extreme in terms of where they are aligned politically, a bunch of news outlets approached it the same way that they would a lot of their partisan reporting, in that everything is black and white and it's one political side versus the other. They are projecting their own understanding, which is that everyone fits into a neat little box of left or right, and that the only person who could possibly hit a person on the extreme left with a hammer is someone on the extreme right. And when that didn't happen, all of these different people just flipped out and completely broke down and had no idea how to handle that. So they all started spinning out in different directions and created what sounds like really inconsistent reporting.
That sounds believable, except that how the fuck did he break in without anything happening? Or did he break in? Maybe that's still all true, but maybe he was not a stranger. Maybe it wasn't a gay thing. Maybe it was something else. Maybe Pelosi likes to do a little bit of drugs. Who knows what he does? The motherfucker is the best investment broker to ever exist in history. The best one ever. His percentage of making money off the stock market is higher than any other person who ever exists in the world.
So I don't want to minimize what you're saying.
Yes.
In fact, I would like to do an entire episode about it. But yes, for those listening who aren't aware, the Pelosi family and their earnings off of Wall Street are insane.
Yes, they're amazing. So, crazy guy happens to be friends with Pelosi. Maybe he just wanted to see what was in there. Got to be a robot calculating all those numbers to be able to hit such a great percentage, right? Bink.
Wait, so your theory is he was trying to open his brain to understand his trading acumen?
Yep. I like that one too. Still makes more sense than what I'm told to believe.